Hello, hello, hello. It is Sunday, 5 o'clock, and we're here. Happy Sunday, everybody. If you are popping on, I got my ear pods in, so hopefully you can hear okay, although that looks crazy. If you are joining, say hi. Don't be shy, say hello. So today I'm really just wanted to pop in for about 20 to 30 minutes. Make sure if you have any questions to post them in the comment box, and I will try and answer them when throughout this. If I don't cover it throughout this episode, I will grab it at the end. And if you are joining even after and watching the replay, you can also ask a question. I will go back on, I will answer them for you. And away we go. So I thought it would be fitting to do a Facebook Live because it's the start of a new year, although we're at, the 5th of January, but I know a lot of you are going back to work tomorrow. So like a lot of people, when they get back to work after the holiday, they want to sort of reset, recharge, and focus on their health in 2020. So I'm giving you 3 simple steps to start today to amp up weight loss, also energy, in 2020, because a lot of times all of the clients that I work with, even though they come to work with me for weight loss, the number one thing that they see change first is actually their energy. So I thought I would throw that in there. So again, make sure you're saying hi to me so I know you're here. But the thing about the holidays is that a lot of us overindulge. And I don't know about you, but like a lot of cases, Christmas, Thanksgiving, summer holidays, we don't feel amazing. We feel bloated, we feel tired, all of those things. I know it's the number one complaint when it comes to the new year, which is why we want to make big changes. But a lot of people get really overwhelmed on how to start, and they think that they have to try it all at the same time and just conquer the world when it comes to weight loss. But that's not the key to weight loss, in my opinion, and I'm going to tell you why. In fact, really all of my clients, we don't go all in. It's all about making incremental changes, small changes in the beginning to make the best impact, particularly if you want something sustainable, not something that's going to be short-term, not a 21-day, not a 28-day fix. We want something that is going to be long-term. Am I right? Let me know if you agree with me. So I just want to introduce myself. Most of you, of course, have been on this or in this community for a long time. You know my name is Julie. But if you don't know that, hi. Thanks for being here. And I just want to let you know, of course, a little bit about me. I am a nutritionist, but I do specialize in weight loss, and I am a lifestyle coach as well. At the end of the day, nutrition is so important, but because I work with mostly career-driven, ambitious women, like women who want to just do it all. You could be a mother and you have family and you have a career, or you own your own business, or you're a stay-at-home mom, but you have a lot going on. We all want to do it all and get it all and be successful at the same time. So I specialize with women who have a lot on their plate, but who want to lose weight and just really don't know how to approach weight loss in the most sustainable way. So I help women prioritize their health and lose weight without giving up all the things that they love, like chocolate and wine and maybe pasta. I don't know what your favorite thing is, but chocolate and wine are my 2 favorite things. And so I refuse to give those up. And I've managed ultimately to lose a considerable amount of weight actually in the past 5 years, and I have managed to keep it off. In fact, I'm 42, almost 43, and I'm in the best shape. I have the best energy, I sleep well, mental health is great, all of those things. It's never perfect, but I've spent the time researching it and perfecting it and all those good things. So let's get started on those 3 really simple steps to take in 2020. Thing about it is, and I alluded to it in the beginning, is that it is so important to start small. So you go online, you Google weight loss, and you're going to find a ton of programs out there. I've been on so many of them, trust me. So I can definitely relate. However, the thing about it is that the success that I've seen in myself and the success that I see in my clients is by making the smallest changes that you possibly can in the beginning. And so you basically need to take a step back and look at your lifestyle and look at your nutrition and pick out those little things along the way that you know you can easily but reasonably implement in your lifestyle at this moment. So if Monday is the start of your first week back in 2020, I'm going to take you through 3 things that you can implement even this week, or you take one and implement in 1 week, the second week, the third week, however it works for you, depends on you. But these are the best changes you can make, especially if you're not feeling good, if your energy is not great, you're feeling bloated, you are tired, you are just energy is not the best. So here's the first step: water. Really simple, I know, but I was saying to somebody the other day, I said how they were complaining about how tired they were, and I said, how's your energy? Sorry, how much water had you been drinking? And of course, they were like, I've only had basically a glass and 3 cups of coffee. So even though coffee is a liquid, it's not very hydrating. Ultimately, what we need is about 3 liters, depending on the person, per day. So what I do, and I should have brought it, is I have a 1 liter Nalgene. I have one at home and one at work, and I drink 3 of those a day. For some of you, it might be a little bit less. It just depends on your size, depends on your activity. For some, it might be more, again, depending on your activity. But the reason why hydrating is so important is that the number 1 cause of fatigue is dehydration. And what the best thing I think you could do in terms of trying to reset your metabolism, reset your digestion, start to feel better is hydrate. And it's for a number of reasons. 1, it helps to flush toxins out of our body naturally. Obviously, our body has a lot of ways to detoxify, but urine is the number 1 way. And 2, we actually need hydration in order to go number 2, which is another way to, of course, detoxify the body. So if we're not adequately, well, urinating for 1, but going number 2, 1 to 3 times a day, which shocks people when I say that, 3 times a day, but 1 to 3 times a day, then you are not detoxing your body efficiently. Not to mention the fact that if we are not eliminating properly, that is waste staying in the body and building up inflammation in the body. One of the main causes of really a person's inability to lose weight is actually inflammation in the body. So it's one of the things that I specialize in my program is reducing inflammation in the body. And so one of those things that we do is to make sure that we are not constipated and that we are eliminating efficiently. So when it comes to energy, you're going to find that increasing your hydration is going to be helpful. So that could be through water, herbal tea. I don't like to include coffee too much into that because it's a bit of a diuretic and it can dehydrate you too as well. Anything that's sort of low, it could be, you know, a green juice, water, obviously. I'm drinking a drink right now that has lots of like greens and reds in it. And it's actually sweetened with stevia. So it's really refreshing. And I'm still getting all the vitamins and minerals that I need. So there's some examples for you. So the second one step that you would do as well is to keep your meals light and fresh. So we start with salads, and I know you'd hate to say it and hear it from me about salads, but I'm not necessarily saying that you need to eat this bountiful salad, but just making sure that we are having ample vegetables on our plate. One of the things that I teach clients is how to eat an optimal plate, because a lot of people don't know how to properly eat, where you're getting the right nutrients, you're keeping your blood sugar in check, you've got an adequate amount of protein and fat so that your blood sugar is stabilized, your energy is kept in check, you're not craving all the things, chips and pasta and coffee and sugar, you know, those things that we want to kind of get rid of from our life. But, you know, starting with making sure that you have half a plate of vegetables is a great way to start. They're also going to fill you up. They're going to give you fiber, all those vitamins and minerals that you need. So the other thing, though, that I like to include in that is starting with breakfast. Now, I'm a weight loss coach, and I have certain methods that I encourage clients when they work with me to utilize. One of those things is fasting. So you've probably heard of intermittent fasting, but this would not be a time if you are somebody who has fasted before, is thinking about fasting, and thinks that that's the way to lose weight. You're going down the wrong direction for sure. If we've just come from, let's say, about a month's worth, because that's it for me. If I think back, all of December, I was going out probably 2 to 3 times a week with friends, or with family, eating and drinking and all of those things. And more than likely, my blood sugar is all over the place, which it is. So the last thing that I would want to do when I've put all that stress on my body is to just start, as of tomorrow, let's say, for example, if you're coming off your holiday, with fasting. What your focus should be right now is focusing on making sure that your blood sugar gets to a normal rate or level. So in that case, I would recommend eating breakfast. Sounds pretty simple, but a lot of people are like, well, what do I eat, right? So here's some examples. Obviously, eggs are a great place to start. I love making chia puddings with like a full fat coconut milk maybe mixed with a little bit almond milk. The other ones that I would recommend is like an oatless oatmeal. I've got lots of recipes on my website. Actually, I will put my website up here for you so you can go back and look at my recipes that I have there. So these are really great options to keep your blood sugar in check. It's got ample protein in them, great sources of fat. This is what's going to keep your blood sugar stable, so that if down the road you do look at fasting options, because fasting is not the answer to weight loss. Fasting is really a tool. And I only recommend it to clients, actually. I do a 3-month program. We really only look at fasting at the end of the month. So it's not something that we focus on, and it's not for everybody. So I would recommend, if that's something that's on the deck for you, to just put that to the side for now, get your blood sugar stabilized, and then maybe think about using that as a tool. But again, not something that I instinctively would recommend for anybody. It's also a stressor on the body, fasting, especially if you've just come from a hectic holiday. You're now then going to work. That's going to be hectic. And then you're fasting, which can be a stressor for some people. Certainly not something to start off with at this point. The other thing is, step number 3 is movement. I thought it was really funny on January 1st, my husband and I went to the gym because I just got a new gym membership, and I don't know, it was maybe 11 o'clock in the morning on Jan 1, and the place was empty. I actually was expecting that it was going to be full, but it wasn't, which I thought was interesting. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't always recommend that would be the first day that you would go into working out on Jan 1. I actually think you should ease into things if you're starting a new program, which is why I recommend you starting with small incremental changes. So, the thing about exercising is that a lot of times women, of course, will think that they then now need to go and work out 5 days in a row. And that's not always the best option, especially if you are, a very driven woman and you have a lot on your plate. The thing about it is that sometimes exercise, if you're not doing the right type of exercise, can actually be an additional stressor to the body. So instead of losing weight, oftentimes women gain weight because they are over-exercising and restricting the amount of food that they are eating. I get so many women that come to me and say, Julie, I'm doing all the right things. I'm eating really light, eating really well, just, chicken and a salad, and then I'm doing cardio 5 days a week, but I just can't seem to lose the weight. The thing about it is that restrictive dieting and really too intensive exercising for a woman that may have too much going on is not the answer. In fact, it could be it has the opposite effect. So oftentimes I just recommend, especially leading into this week, just some light, getting out in nature, going for a walk, going for a hike, maybe a great, a yoga class, for example, that, is a little bit more calming, I say. There's different styles, obviously, that you could look into. I find that really great for especially somebody like myself. I find it's really good for my nervous system, calms me, keeps and still keeps my energy in check too as well. So exercising is obviously something we do want to establish when we're trying to make changes in our health and our weight loss. But I would say that you have to look at your lifestyle as it is right now. If it's extremely hectic, then maybe hitting the gym 5 days a week for an hour and a half is not your best option. But maybe going for a 45-minute, hour-long walk with your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or by yourself, and listening to music or a podcast or an audiobook might be a lot more supportive for you than hitting the gym. It's shocking because I've had women that have just lost weight because they've scaled it back, because they realize that there's so much going on that they got to look at their lifestyle first before sometimes going into this, regimented exercise. Now, exercise is important, very important. You should be moving every single day, which is what I do. Sometimes if I've had a busy day and a hard day, even mentally, just an hour-long walk is all I'll do, and it just is so beneficial for me. So you're not necessarily going to miss out, really, if you sometimes take a look at your lifestyle and curate your exercise around your lifestyle and how you're feeling at the time. So I hope that answers, that is clear and answers some of your questions in terms or concerns about exercising and what to do. So just to scale it back a little bit on what we've talked about. So step number 1 is amping up your water, making sure, water helps us to flush out toxins. It helps to reduce bloating. Number 2 is to keep our meals light and fresh, and starting with breakfast and making sure, at least for the next week or two, to get our blood sugar in check and focus on foods that actually have a really good complement of fat and protein. So things like eggs and chia seed puddings and low sugar smoothies. I know some great grain-free oatmeals. But you can check my website, which I will add to this at the end, so you can take a look at that. And then step number 3 is movement. Now, it's not necessarily that you are pushing it, because it actually can stimulate our stress response. And that's something we don't want to do when we're trying to get our body realigned and in a good, calm state and our blood sugar in check. In a few weeks, that might be a different story. You might be able to go into some more high-intensity interval training and running on the treadmill and all of those things that you love to do. But ultimately, at the end of the day, those are really 3 simple things that you can implement starting tomorrow, or you take one and you start one this week, you start the second week, and so on. But the smallest changes make the biggest impact. And the reason why is because you start them, they're achievable, they're easy to manage, you build confidence, you get comfortable with it, it becomes a lifestyle, and that's when you start to see the traction happening. That's where you start to see the results, because you're able to incorporate it into your life, which is the reason why I, for the most part, have a pretty good amount of balance in my life, and I'm able to do that. So, and I get it. I mean, sometimes you just don't have the time, you're overwhelmed, you feel like you've lost control and you want more control in your life and in your health. And you certainly don't want to always figure it out for yourself too as well, which is why you all are here watching this Facebook Live, is to learn a little bit about those small and sustainable changes that you can make in your life. So that's it for now. I have been here for a good 20 minutes. If anybody has any questions, like I said, make sure you pop it in the comments. It could be anything related, of course, to weight loss, nutrition, overall health, any of that. If you're watching this afterwards, be sure to add that on, or add your comments in the box, and I will answer them afterwards as well. So don't be shy at all. The other thing that I'm going to be popping in the box is the link to my 30-minute weight loss discovery calls. So the other thing I do want to offer, and I always offer at the end of all my calls, is a complimentary 30-day weight loss discovery call. So this is essentially to go through what your pain points are when it comes to, you know, your inability maybe to lose weight, but the impact of energy on your life or lack of energy on your life. It's ultimately a call where you can learn how to take more control over your health. I encourage you to book that. The thing about it is that you will leave with at least 1 to 3 tips that you can establish, very much like today, into your life, so that you can get the results that you finally want and that you desire and that you really ultimately deserve. So I will also pop that into here for you all so that you can get in on the action. So that will be my calendar that you can enroll yourself into or schedule with me. So other than that, I hope that you have an amazing 2020. I'm really excited to be on these calls every week. Actually, every Sunday I'm generally on a Facebook Live, and I encourage you to post what videos you'd like to hear me talk about when it comes to weight loss and energy and lifestyle and nutrition and all of those things that you may be curious about. Here is the place to do it. It's a safe space with, a couple hundred other women. So I really look forward to doing more of these throughout the next year. So we'll see you soon. Happy Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your evening.